Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I want to address a really common viewer request once and for all. It seems like a couple of times a week people ask me, Nick, when are you going to finally release sharpening tutorial videos? Well, the answer to that, despite the clickbait title, sorry about that, is never. And let me explain why. As many of you know, I do sharpen my own knives. It's a good way to make a terribly expensive hobby, that is the knife world, slightly less terribly expensive, particularly if you buy used regularly, because if you buy a knife used and it's dull as a butter knife, if you can sharpen it back up, you don't care. And also, if you use your tools, it's a great thing to be able to bring them back to great condition. So sharpening is a great thing. And, for me, I started sharpening just on actual whetstones that I'd been using to restore straight razors and whatnot. And then I realized, though, that for a knife, I'm not terribly good with my level of coordination at maintaining a solid angle. So I ended up with a nasty bevel, so I moved to guided systems, and I tried a bunch of those. I've tried a Lansky system, the Spyderco Shopmaker, the Edge Pro Apex 4, I believe, and now I use a KME system for all my sharpening. But the thing is, all of those systems, they've all got their advantages and disadvantages, but you can do a great edge with any of them. The problem is, though, in all of my experience, and despite having done this for a number of years, I am still not very good at sharpening. Let's be honest here. I mean, I can absolutely put an edge on most knives that most random jackasses would consider to be pretty sharp. And, that's good. And the edges that I make are good enough for my needs. They will absolutely cut, in the words of Doug Marcaida. But the thing is, my grasp of sharpening theory just isn't that stellar. I still absolutely make mistakes. I am still relatively inexperienced. I mean, let's face it, I spend more time handling and talking about knives than I do actually, working with sharpening stones and things like that. And so this absolutely shows. And so when I handle knives that I have sharpened and then I handle something done by a pro, like Apostle P, Spade Knife Works, Knife Crazy, there is absolutely a difference in the sharpness, the keenness of the edge, as well as the long-term durability of that edge. And being honest here, it's pretty humbling. I realize handling their work that just like in everywhere else in sharpening, I've got a lot yet to learn. And this is why I don't claim to be a sharpener. Despite all the requests, I will absolutely not take money to sharpen your knife. I am not that good at it. And people who want to loan me gear in exchange for sharpening, although appreciated, are turned down because I don't know for sure that I'm not going to screw up your knife. You can get better elsewhere. Don't come to this jackass for that. And this is also why I am not planning to make sharpening tutorials in the foreseeable future. There are many great sharpeners out there who actually know what they're doing, and so I'll let them handle that education. There are lots of things I can teach, but that ain't one of them. So where should you go for sharpening help? Well, there are 4 folks who do tutorials on YouTube whose work I have seen and handled in person that I can kind of vouch for, who've really impressed me. First is Apostle P. He's a really well-known YouTuber who offers professional sharpening services, I think, as his profession, but also has YouTube videos and, has a lot of great tutorials on his page. I'll try and link these folks up in the corner here. Knife Crazy is a lesser-known YouTuber, but he is an expert with the KME system, and he's got some great tutorials. I mean, heck, he was even brought in by KME to teach how to use the system at their booth at the Blade Show this year. And he's a great guy, too. Of course, Bird over at the Birdshot IV channel has some great tutorials for using the KME system as well. And Spade Knife Works, who's a guy that I've used before for knife-related services, blasting and whatnot, he's just started a YouTube channel focused on the Edge Pro, and, his work's been impressive, too. Mind you, there are lots of other great sharpeners out there, both on YouTube and just around the forums, along with some pretty awful ones, so, check things out. But these are the only 4 that I can personally vouch for, having handled their work in person. So I'll put links to these folks, both, I hope I did it up there, but down in the description here as well. But there you go. As much as I hate to turn down a fan request, alas, this is as close as you're ever going to get to a Nick Shabazz sharpening tutorial. Sorry about that, guys, but I hope it was interesting nonetheless, and that you have yourselves a very sharp rest of your day. Bye now.